enhanced.
Difficulty putting the head on though if you've got it on there.
No, it has to come off to put the head on.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So
Masterclass by Dave Depper, showing
Yeah.
us how to put a camshaft in properly.
yeah.
All over to you, Dave.
Right. Standard Kent degree wheel at the front.
The other side so I can see what's
Yeah.
Sorry about this.
That's all right.
Let's jack it out again and then
Yeah.
Thank you.
Edit you out, John.
Okay,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to set on
Yeah,
fire
good.
halfway through.
DTI onto the top of the piston. 0 at top dead centre. Right, to make sure we're okay there,
And you adjusted that presumably by rotating this in
Yeah.
the first place, did you?
go down
Yes.
2 complete revolutions and come back up to 0. Note the reading on there, which is 27 degrees. Come back up again. Go 2 complete revolutions the other way, bring it back up to 0. And we're on about 26 and a half.
Right. Good.
Just double check the other way again.
Swing it either side of that.
Always make sure you're bringing it up to take up any clearances. Yep. So we know that that is now indicating top dead centre. So we now transfer that to number 1 inlet lobe. And what we need to do now is find the peak of the cam lobe. Which is about there. So we know now that we're 0 on the peak.
Yes.
Right, so I come 1 complete turn backwards and come back up to 0, taking up any slack on the timing chain.
Oh, so you're rotating the engine there in the correct direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we look at that and we've got about 47 degrees. Can I make a note of this? Oh, another one.
Martin.
Slowly.
Oh,
How are we doing?
all right.
Slowly.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a bigger place.
Oh, aren't you?
Right, coming in, Mart.
Yes.
How you doing?
Thank you.
Oh,
Wait over this. How are we all doing?
We're just fine.
right. Now, whereas when we were finding top dead centre of the piston, we came back up again on both sides
Yes,
because
we
we're
did.
now looking at a camshaft and we want to take up the slack in the timing chain.
Yes. You do the same on this one.
No,
Oh, what's that then? Oh, well, so you really go over the top and come back?
no, you don't. You just go straight to it
Oh, I see.
because otherwise you're
Yes.
taking into account the
Backlash.
backlash, right.
Got you. Yes.
So we've now got a reading on there of around about 71. Sorry, 171.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, add those two together, which gives us 218. Divide that into 2, 109.
Right.
So that is now at 109 degrees after top dead centre.
I'm glad we're taping this.
Yes. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I think you're going to have to do that again. I think.
Right. Well, if I go,
And what does that tell us?
well,
Is that the spec of the camshaft?
Yeah.
So we know that the camshaft has
It's
actually been...
110.
it should be
He's right.
110.
Yes.
Ah, right. And what have we
That's
got?
it said.
109.
Oh, we'll let them off a degree. then.
Yeah.
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 Right. That's obviously important.
That is.
So if we go back again, go back one complete turn and come right in the direction of normal rotation, but taking up the slack in the timing chain, come up to 0.
This is the valve. This is lift on inlet number 1.
Yeah,
Right.
because that's where all the normal specifications are taken
Right.
from number 1.
Number 1 inlet. Okay.
Yeah, and we have a reading of 47 degrees.
From.
So you've got a drop from peak of a tenth of an inch, 100th thou, at that reading. So I go back over, go past the peak and come back again to the same 0. So in other words, on either side of the lobe,
Yes.
I've got the same angle,
Yes.
the same drop.
Right.
And the reading on that one is about 171. So that's 171 degrees.
Changing the engine in the correct direction. So
Yeah,
you're taking
so-
up all the slack in the time. Yeah.
So what you've got, if you simulate a lobe, we're looking at, there's a cam follower, there's a cam follower.
Yeah.
We're looking at the same drop
Yes.
either side.
on either side.
Yep. Got that. Okay.
So you add the two together, divide it in 2, that gives you where the top
centre
is.
Yes.
Yeah, which is what I've done. So that was 47, 171, 218, half that's 109, after, because that is before top dead centre, that's after top dead centre, after top dead centre.
Okay, that was 47 degrees on here you measured. It was the first one, was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
And then you measured the next one is 100. Okay.
171.
yeah.
Yes.
So
There.
if I go,
With you, yes. Okay, I got that.
if I come to 0, near enough.
Near 110, yes.
Well, unfortunately, because of the dwell on the top,
Yes, it's
Not
somewhere.
quite 109,
No,
is it?
but we're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And the spec sheet, which is behind you,
It says 110, doesn't it?
full lift position 110.
Yes.
Yeah, centre line 110 after top dead centre.
Right.
Now, another.
And what have you done to ensure that the actual camshaft location corresponds with the spec?
Well, what I've done there. Can you pass me that sprocket there, Mark?
Because if it's not,
Oh, I
if
see.
after fitting all this and we do this and it's way off 110,
Yeah.
Right. This is off that engine on the floor, which is
Right.
from 2 years ago.
Yes.
And I'm using it as the basic for this. I elongated the slots
Yes.
yeah.
so that I can.
So you can.
So you've
Yeah.
already done this.
I've
yeah.
not-
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
I've
not coincidence
elongated
that
as
it's
a
spot on.
starter.
That's
I
right.
elongated the
Oh,
slot
yeah.
because you never know because of timing chain stretch.
Yes, yes,
Where in there, where on the sprocket. You never know where you're going to be.
Whether
In fact,
Reliant put those holes exactly in the right
No,
place.
no.
so that is to allow me
Yeah,
to
yes.
advance.
Yep. Absolutely.
The
I
camera
understand- understand.
Yeah.
I hadn't realised you'd done all that. I thought this was just a happy happenstance. No,
He
no.
was rushing yesterday to make sure that it was all finished.
Yeah.
Oh, crikey. I had a major panic on Friday.
Right.
put some brand new cam bearings in, which I got from a guy called Brian Hayes. They're Covmos. Now normally Covmo stuff's pretty good. So I put them in, and I hadn't tried a camshaft in.
Ooh.
Now Friday afternoon I'm coming to put the camshaft in and it won't go. I have a major problem.
Yes.
So I get it out and have a look. Seems to be okay. Put it back in again. This is the one at the front here. Still won't go in. I get an old cam follower, which is a proper Reliant one. Put that in. Camshaft flies in.
Yeah.
I put the new one round the lobe and squash it, because these things are a little bit open, and it goes absolutely tight. And there's about a 3 or 4 thou
Not enough.
gap.
Yes, yes.
What they've done, I think, is the strip that they start off with
Yes.
is about 8-9 thou too short. So when they've done it round and I push it in,
Yes.
it closes up. So panic. I ring up Reliant spares at Cannock. Have you got any? I've got loads on the shelf, he says. So had to shoot up to Cannock Friday afternoon and go and get some. Put them in Friday night, put the camshaft in,
Beautiful.
no problem.
Right.
So I nearly had to ring up and say, sorry guys, it's off, it goes off.
No, no.
So,
right.
yeah.
So you're not happy with the
Okay, so we've
golf
got
part?
Yes. Now, okay, so it's all been done. So what happened?
Well, now, all I've done,
Yes.
I have slotted it to start with, but that is in what you might call the standard position. So
Yeah.
because I've got the sprocket hasn't got a lot of wear in, and neither has the bottom sprocket,
Right.
and it's a brand new chain,
Yes.
we've come about right.
Oh, I see.
But I've made provision in case
Yes,
it
it
was
was.
coming at 111
You
or
could have
112.
adjusted it.
Okay.
I could just slacken those off
Yeah.
and twist it a bit.
But then
And
you
what-
had to peg it, presumably.
Yes, I've made provision for a hole there.
In the sprocket.
Yeah. So what I would have done is if it not in the standard position, which I
Yes.
know it is now,
Yes, right.
I'd have taken the 2 bolts out and the retaining C,
Yes.
done it all again, clamped those up, then I would have taken the cam out, and I've got a long tube that I could drop the cam down, put it into a pillar drill
Yes. Yes.
and drill a peg hole.
Yes. All right.
But I don't have to do that because
No.
fortunately this setup is about
Supposing
right.
we come across this and it is wrong.
Then we
going
have
in
to
the standard
overlise
position,
the-
overlise the
Yeah,
Yeah,
sprockets.
and then adjust it until
Yes.
it's right.
yeah, yeah.
And then when we get that, we've still got to drill.
Peg
And
the,
what's this camshaft material? It's cast iron.
It's cast iron,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
drills fairly easily.
Yeah, this is only
Yes.
steel. That goes fairly easily,
Yes.
and then you've got cast iron. What you've got to be careful of though is where you actually drill your hole, because otherwise if you drill it too far out you're going to go into the retaining groove.
Right.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Now-
yes.
I'm trying to think what that is.
Right, distance.
looks like an 1/8 or 3 mil. Oh, the distance there.
Yes.
It's about 6.5 mil.
From centre.
No, from the edge of that
Edge
hole.
of that hole.
Because you haven't got a centre when you've got the
No.
sprocket. So it's about 6.5 mil out.
Okay.
That gives you enough clearance then. If you do wander when you're
Yes.
drilling the hole,
Write
you're
that
not going to
down
go
somewhere.
into the
Brilliant.
you're not going to go into the retaining groove.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very important, that one.